like to present Monica Macias, our all things instructional technology, and she was going to do a update on our website.
Ms. Macias, you have the floor.
Good evening, President Kim, Superintendent Martinez, members of the board, fellow administrators. I am here to do a district website update, and for 2016, obviously at times there is a need to bring us up to speed on where we are now because we have new board members and we have new staff. So that's where this is bringing us up to the present time on our website. So once upon a time, we only came into the internet in 1991, and in 1998, Monterey County websites debuted, and the 3 schools in 2000 that had a district website presence were Laurelwood, Loma Vista, and University Park. And their sites were hosted by the county office. And there was basically that one page for all of the county schools that had any kind of web presence. And so one would just click on the link and take it to the school's website, of which just an example that at that time, Diane Mill was the principal of Laurelwood, and this was the existence, the entirety of their district website. So it looks dated, but because it is. Then in 2007, Lydia Miranda, the superintendent secretary, won a contest called Extreme Website Makeover, which actually put us as a district entity into cyberspace. So thank you, Lydia, for bringing us into the 21st century. And at that time, then we debuted this website, and that was work that we as a district did for the very first time as a district entity, and then additionally schools under our district also came, every school had a presence at that time, as well as departments and programs, and at that time, so in 2008, we made it as robust as we could, given our needs at that time. And then between 2008 and 2014, of course, time marched on and our communication needs changed. And we needed a more flexible and more customizable platform. And so we needed a website overhaul at that point. And so therefore, we did the work to do that overhaul. And in 2015, August 2015, we debuted this current district website. And again, that current website also contained different schools within that, and then programs, departments, and everything that came to be part of what our current conversation is as of 2015. LCAP existed in 2015 where it did not in 2008. So all of those things that were part of the current conversation came to be. And so with that addition, we also came to standardize school websites, the individual school websites. When we originally debuted the green, it basically was, each school had a website, but it was basically a page within that very structured format that just gave information about that school. It wasn't the school's creation. It wasn't the school's personalizing it, but rather it was just about that school. In this format, we actually have the individual schools that do personalize, that do choose what information that they will communicate, and still within some structure. So a house has to be built with some structure, but it can be customized after that. So that's how we have the school websites, and they are built on our Google Apps platform. They're built on our Google Apps backbone. And so therefore they are easily customizable, shared, collaborated on, and again, of the school's own decision. We support the departments with training that we've had, but we need to bring back. We've had sessions for website, bringing questions, bringing concerns and issues to those sessions to collaborate on. And in order to, somebody's having some difficulty in posting images or posting things to their calendar that is on the public-facing website. So they bring those issues to those sessions. And then we have just school web assistants. We created, with Ed Services, we created a additional work job description that allows for 20 hours of time at each school for a web assistant. So a teacher who is interested, maybe tech savvy, and wants to have that challenge of taking on the time for the school website and working in collaboration with the administrators. They are paid for that time to post the current newsletter or post different events, or just bring those things current. And they have 20 hours throughout the 10 months of the year in order to do that. And so we've done sessions to support them as well in doing that work at the school sites. And so now, and moving forward, again, we need to bring back to a new schedule, providing ongoing staff development to department secretaries as well. So not only district, but also food service, maintenance, everybody who has a place on our district website to really set aside a time to do that work, because everyone is involved in the day-to-day tasks. And so it's sometimes, unless it's calendared, we don't set aside the time to say, okay, now we have that one meeting a month, and we're going to do all of our website updating and bring current the pieces that we're responsible for. And that, again, adds to the timeliness and currency of the website. So the goals are for the departments and schools to have timely websites with current information, have accurate communication, of providing a platform for clear communication, and that reflects our positive climate and culture. And that's the last slide.
Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
You were mentioning something about secretaries and staff
Yes.
office.
Uh-huh.
workers.
Yes.
Is that going to happen as a unit, all of them together at the same time, or just school by school by school?
No, kind of different variations. One flavor is having and this also speaks to classified staff development, right?
Yeah.
So having a session, we've had sessions here in the boardroom, every department secretary or clerk typist, whoever's involved from that department in keeping items current, comes to that session. Myself and Rosie Mesa from another tech from my department, we hold those sessions and we open it up to, okay, let's get into your department's area and what do you need some help with? So we do that. And then we also, separately, I work with those web assistants, those school site-based people, to do that same thing and give them that support for keeping the school websites more current and working with, if a school hasn't implemented a public calendar, how do we do that? And how do you post it on your school's website? So integrating those things. So we do it, providing that staff development.
Just a comment, my tenure here is very short to this day. But since I've been here at this table with my colleagues, you've done a fantastic job bringing out outside sources, using inside sources, and looking at the vision of what we need to be through the electronic era. And we've upgraded ourselves And when I lose I forget my password, I just call the office and they'll give me a new one.
Anytime. We're here to
Thank
serve.
you.
Yes, absolutely, thank you. And then, one of the last things that I did want to say that is also part of classified training, that maybe we didn't highlight as classified because we were talking about certificated, was that I have done trainings for head custodians. I have done trainings on the classified staff that are being required to, do things in a different way, do things in the 21st century way. And so I have done that as well, and we want to continue to do so. And then we had the conversation with Jerry to look at possibly providing a Tech U type of event for classified in this spring. So that's a goal for us, and we want to work towards making that happen.
Thank you.
Okay, I have some questions
Certainly.
regarding the website. The history behind how it came to be is great, but I myself try and use our website all the time because when we get our board packet, a lot of times there's information on it that as a new board member, I don't really know a lot of. So I'll go to the website to historically look up things, and I found a few things that are kind of disturbing to me. One is a lot of the departments will have information, like I'll go to a specific department to look up something, and it just has a nice one-page description that's dated from 2014, so it's not updated at all. And there's no basic information for someone who's looking like how I can find out more information or contact. For instance, I went to look up a board policy. I clicked on what should have been the board policy for personnel, and it says this website is under construction, so it wasn't on there. That was just the other day. I had a parent send me or grandparent send me an email regarding her frustration with trying to just locate someone on the website. And I myself tried to locate a person, got a phone number, called that phone number, it was disconnected. So with the LCAP, I think our third priority is parent involvement and parent communication. A website is a key element to that communication because most people are getting pretty tech savvy, and if they want to look something up, they'll go and click on they'll Google it or they'll go on the website. Our website is very frustrating for me because, first of all, most of the information is outdated. Secondly, I was looking for current events, things happening, and I think I sent this note to Martha. The only place I could see it was on the Twitter part of the website, which you have to scroll all the way down to. And, it's just a little brief, Twitter comment. It's either, there are no pictures, there are so many great things happening in the district. I would think the website should feature that. It should be changed at least on a monthly basis to highlight all the great things, because we do great things, but you never hear about them. For instance, the kids that are, going to go over, on Wednesday and make that presentation. I would love to see the presentation uploaded to the website, or show what they're doing, or let the public know. Then the other thing is the school websites. They are as different as the schools themselves, because the 4 schools that are in my area, I try to go to all the events, but I click on January or February, there are no events, none. And the district website, same thing, there are no events. And I think people should, I think that should at least be a basic thing on a website for people who are trying to plan to go to something. So I know the website is so much further than it used to be, but it has such a long way to go. So is there a plan to maybe, besides just training people, is there a plan to really try and update the web, or keep the website updated? I don't know.
And I think that's part of, the majority of the goal of getting people together to actually do that, monthly, is to bring your items to that monthly meeting, and upload them and make your content current.
So is that happening right now, or has that happened, or it's
It hasn't
going to
happened yet. It has happened before, but we haven't been at full staffing in my department in order to have the time to conduct those. We are now, so I will be conducting those, and Rosie Mesa will be conducting those, and Gloriana Romero, who is our department secretary, will be conducting those as well. So we will get back to a series of events to hold those and bring those current. But again, for example, like the board policy, I've worked with Lydia on this, and there are things that are under construction. That means not all of those pieces are ready for that publication, and so therefore they're not on the website. And so, that's also in stages of development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monica, is there I thought I heard that there's a new technology plan that needs to be updated. Do you know?
We have our plan that was originally created for the E-rate through 2017, but we do have the need for revising that.
Does that include the website? Is the website underneath the technology plan?
Specifically, in terms of detailed revisions to the website in that plan, no, but rather how we're going to use that as a platform of communication, yes.
Now, you spoke of a position at each school site in which a teacher or someone at the school site gets 20 hours of pay to keep their website updated. Is that something that's going on right now?
That's correct.
So someone is getting 20 hours of pay and they're not updating their website?
Well,
Year.
a year.
20, oh, I mean, that's what I meant. It's late. I'm sorry, it's my fault too.
It's 2 hours a month? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and if they, there's lots of pieces, and whatever the parts that the administrators are working with that web assistant to update, whether it's, let's say, teacher websites, that's 2 hours a month could go into helping your colleagues as teachers put their websites together and then posting it on the school's website.
Well, could there be a uniform, like, expectation that at least the calendar would be updated so that all the events going on in the school would be on that?
Well, and certainly that's a goal we can work towards, and certainly with having Google Calendars, which can mean that a secretary can access the calendar and a principal, and anyone who can be part of that hosting events can certainly contribute to that. So it's not simply the responsibility of one person, but rather those that are the school administrators that are creating those events. Like as a principal, I have a master calendar. So, the people that I choose to have that responsibility for posting items to that master calendar, it can be done to the electronic version as well, not just the one that's sitting in my office or in the front office, announcing all of those events that are happening. So definitely that's a goal for to help those staffs to be able to know how to put one together and then post it to their school's website.
Okay. So it is going to be a work in progress
Yes,
then?
absolutely.
Is there a deadline date for when the progress could be expected to be completed? Or where it would be at least, like by the end of the school year, would you see that all the websites, or all the pieces now that say under construction would no longer be under construction?
Probably not that way, but we can make it a goal to say every school site will have a calendar, a master calendar that is a public calendar on their website that shows and scrolls to different months and their events.
Yeah.
That's certainly doable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just, I think websites are like newspapers. Yesterday's news is old news. And so anything on the website from 2014, even if you just change the date down there, it'll be more relevant. It just, it just makes it seem, it just seems embarrassing as a district to have so many great things happening and be so technologically on the cutting edge, and yet have a website that looks like, my grandson put it together. It just is really, I feel like that's an opportunity for us to really market ourselves, and is not a good marketing tool right now.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I get public comment.
Yes. Mr. Garden.
Thank you. So Frank Garden, Mission Park School, kids in the district. You know me by now. Yeah, Amy actually highlighted a lot of the inadequacies and frustrations that I've been experiencing personally. I'm on your website a lot, so I was going to get up here and complain about it, but I think you did it for me, so thank you. I think it's inadequate, and I know, to add a little bit of the history, it didn't go live in 2015. Actually, it was 2014. The board hired a guy named, I think, Martin Cisneros. Paid him, well, there's some question about what we paid him, either $11,000 or $20,000. I don't know. There's two separate invoices, and those pages that say under construction, I believe, are inserted there as placeholders. So if they're still there today, I don't think the job was finished. So my question is, does he still owe any obligation to finish the job now, 18 months later? Because it's not a good website. I think the old one was better. In terms of access to archived transcripts and videos of what happens at this board meeting, I'd like to see that. I've put in this request before. I know that the board videos are taped through that camera up there, and it takes 3 to 4 months for the district to upload it to your website. It stays on there for 30 days, and then it's taken down. So there's no record of any of the past board meetings, except for going to Building a Better Board and looking through our Facebook page. Then the community has access. The other thing I'd love to see on your website is if we can make it sort of a portal to Common Core help for those of us who are deficient in that area and learning how to do it. I know the teachers give out like YouTube channels to get to educational, instructional videos for those of us who are deficient in that area. It'd be great to have a link that takes you right to those channels, those homework help channels. I just think that your website could be revamped in such a way to make it more meaningful and engaging to us as a community. And at the same time, be promoting transparency in this board, which has been my goal ever since I started coming here.
Thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Okay. Let's move on to action items before I pass out.
Okay. 216, CSBA.
Yes, CSBA Delegate Assembly election. Would you like to take that? What are we doing today?
This is, a board needs recommendation to elect a representative to the delegate assembly, and I think that person is Rita Patel. I think we have the actual ballot. And so we have two options on this particular item. One is that you endorse and vote for Rita Patel as your representative, or that you have a write-in candidate. So those are your two options.
Any discussion?
Discussion?
It seems like she wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
She's
does.
a candidate, so I think that would be a good recommendation.
She has a nice resume.
Mr. President?
She's
Yeah.
busy.
President,
She's busy, yeah.
Here, make a motion that we select this, or recommend this person.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to nominate Rita Patel.
I'll second.
Okay, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Say none.
Okay, motion carries.
Underscore this, the young lady is an entrepreneur, businesswoman. At the same time, she's very conscientious about school policy and programs that exist. And as well, she's well educated when it comes to being on the board. Yeah, just for your knowledge there.
Okay, thank you. We're moving on to item B1.
Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources.
Good evening, Superintendent Martinez, members of the board. have before you tonight Resolution 2015-16-10, notice of non-rehire, non-reemployment of temporary certificated employees. Ed Code Section 44954 authorizes the board to vote on providing notice to temporary certificated employees for the succeeding school year. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the resolution directing the notice of non-rehire, non-reemployment of temporary certificated employees.
Have any discussion? Okay, do we have a motion?
I move to give the notice of
Approve the
non-re.
recommendation.
It's a resolution, so you,
Oh, it's a resolution.
to approve the resolution.
To approve the resolution.
2015, why don't you give the number?
2015-16-10, notice of non-rehire, non-reemployment of temporary certificated employees.
There's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mr. Hoffman. We have a roll call vote.
Roll call vote. President Stephen Kim,
Aye.
Vice President Roberto Garcia,
Aye.
Clerk Foster Huffman,
Yes.
Board Member Francisco Estrada,
Yes.
Board Member Amy Ish.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, action item B2, resolution 2015-16-11, notice of non-reelection of probationary certificated employees. And again, Ed Code Section 4429.21 authorizes the board to vote on providing notice to probationary certificate employees of non-reelection. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the resolution directing notice of non-reelection of probationary certificated employees.
I just noted with the correction as was
Yes.
approved with the adoption of the agenda.
P10 has been
P10's
deleted.
been
Do we have any discussion? Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the resolution 2015-16-11?
Well, I'll move we approve resolution 2015/16-11, notice of non-reelection of probationary certificated employees.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any comments before we vote? Okay, let's do a roll call.
Roll call vote. President Stephen Kim,
Aye.
Vice President Roberto Garcia,
Aye.
Board Clerk Foster Hoffman,
Aye.
Board Member Francisco Estrada,
Yes.
and Board Member Amy Ish.
Yes.
Next item. Q.
We have the item for a contract for a June first day after school's out. Okay.
First Monday after school's out. Yes, superintendent, trustees, we talked a little bit this evening about the proposed day for certificated staff. This is for the Q, Rockstar Teacher Camp, computer using educators.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the contract?
Yes, with your permission, Mr. President, I make a motion. It's a Q Rockstar Teacher Camp.
Okay. Just a motion on the floor to approve the contract with Q Rockstar Teacher Camp.
Yes.
And,
Do we have a second?
a second?
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
So you
I feel
have-
like DJ Garden out there needs to play a song for us.
I know. Step it up a
Movement in
little.
the house.
I'll bring some AC/DC next time.
Who's doing Mr. Ryan?
Okay, so now we're on to the 2016-17 proposed capital facilities improvement projects.
Give me an extra.
Oh, we
Thanks.
have our Assistant Superintendent of Business. Jerry Stratton.
I had this brochure.
By the way, while he is getting ready to present this, I just will make a short announcement that unfortunately, our director of facilities and maintenance was in a serious bicycle accident yesterday. He is in ICU, but he is expected to recover. He is quite seriously injured, and so Terry will probably be out for a while. He has broken ribs. He has, I think his collapsed lung has now been inflated,
It was
reinflated.
inflated today.
And he's got a compressed disc, and so it's terrible. He is an avid cyclist.
Oh, yes.
Who will get up at 3:30 in the morning and go do his runs for I don't know how many miles. This has been I understand, his third serious accident he's had, but we're really praying for his speedy recovery. We understand that he's expected to get out of ICU.
Tomorrow morning is projected.
Okay. So in his absence, Jerry Stratton will be presenting this tonight.
I think this is National Slide Day. A few more for you here. I left a packet with you, which is an expansion of what was in your board packet, which you have gone through before. I'll be brief, but we'll entertain any questions we have as we go through it. We have a very busy summer plan, with 5 sites being under some significant construction. We're finally going to get to the windows at Lincoln. We did almost half of the windows at Roosevelt last year. We're going to finish those. I'll talk about that in a moment. But 172 windows at Lincoln. It's not just a matter of popping them out and putting new ones in from Milgard. We've selected a standard window that we voted on that we'll use for our historic sites. And the windows will mimic the period, so they'll look period correct for a school that was built in 1923 or 1924. And it goes way beyond that. As we pull the old windows out, we have lead to deal with, we have rotten wood to deal with. So it's a major construction thing for carpenters and for glaziers. So 172 windows later, Lincoln will have all new windows at the old part of the school. And again, these are in your board packet. I won't dwell on them. The timelines show you, and you have to take with you, where we are and where we expect to be as we move through it. And the construction cost is about $375,000 plus the architect's fees. We're attacking Prop 39 for as much of that as we can because of the energy efficiency improvements we get from it.
Sorry, Jerry, what is the CM with question marks mean?
CM stands for construction manager.
Oh, okay.
We'll have one that'll actually oversee multiple projects. Just a quick picture of the funky old windows, and those are probably the better ones at Lincoln. On to Roosevelt, we still have 137 windows there. And, whoops, excuse me. How do I get this here? Help me for a minute. Would you get back to the Roosevelt?
Oh, you really skipped it.
My goodness. I had a fat thumb on this, folks. I'm sorry. At Roosevelt, we have about $200,000 left to do. We did a third of them last year, and we learned so much to be much more efficient for this year and to do Lincoln, so we're going to get a lot more bang for our buck. I'll move forward. That's last year where we boarded them up, and then we did all the remediation, brought the new windows in, and slammed them in. The easiest part is actually putting the windows back in. It goes the fastest, at least. We had a great contractor. Our third project, we're going to rehab all the asphalt at Roosevelt. If you've been to Roosevelt, it looks like an alligator got run over. I mean, it's really in bad shape. Did I say? I'm sorry. What did I say? Roosevelt? Yeah. We did Roosevelt last summer. All the asphalt there. This is Los Padres, well overdue. We're also going to add some ramps. So that's in your packet that just shows, again, the money and the timeline. I would highlight that the money comes from an emergency repair program. And we called it an emergency back in 2008, and it got approved, but it wasn't funded. We finally got the money, and we've got to spend it by the middle of July. And this shows you all the asphalt area at Los Padres. And over here we have these Three Sisters portables that we had hoped to move, but it just became too expensive to move them. And so we're taking out their funky little metal ramps that we've been patching up for years, and we're going to put a really nice concrete ramp, kind of like the huge ramps at Verona Meadows. And so they'll be forever ramps, or until we finally we wear the portables out. Monterey Park, we're going to do a similar project there. It's also ERP, Emergency Repair Program funded, and we're going to do the same kind of thing. I won't bore you with the timelines, they're all the same. We have over $500,000 for the project. If we don't spend a penny of it, we turn it back in. So our goal is to spend every penny we can, and we're including the ramps to do that. So we don't have to take it out of our own pocket later. And at Monterey Park, how come it's going?
Package.
Okay. Thank you. There we go. Again, the asphalt, and then these portables here, 21 through 29, will get all new concrete ramps a la Verona Meadows. On to number 5, our E-rate. Maybe we needed to redo the batteries in this, or my thumb is not working right on this. At any rate, E-rate is expensive. We get money for it. It's an 80-20 match. It's on a multi-year program. Our goal is to upgrade the capacity to all of our sites, where we'll go from 1 gig to 10 gigs, and so it's 10 times the capacity. That's going to be really important as we proliferate all of these devices in every classroom. We're now at 4-to-1, 3-to-1, and as we move into more devices, we're going to need all that space to be able to push data. Our part this year is going to be 20% of the $513,000. We work with several firms in the design part of this. It's very technical work, and the next action item I have is actually to approve the contracts with those folks. Project 6 is the Natividad Kitchen. Monterey County Health Department came in, and they've been in a couple of times, and they finally said, we're going to shut you down, and you're not going to have a kitchen there if you don't do these improvements with stainless steel counters and sinks and triple sinks for rinsing vegetables. So we have to do a major upgrade. It's about a $175,000 project. We worked with the principal on site to make it all fit. And basically, this area is the kitchen area we're going to redo. This is an expansion of it, where we go with stainless steel everywhere, bigger sinks. We open it up. It's going to be much more functional. It's going to meet all the standards. It has to be approved by the Division of State Architect, and it has to be approved by the Monterey County Health Department, and that's in process.
Their kitchen is in that little multi-purpose room, right?
Yes.
Not in the big other area that they have. No, they just have that, it's in the multi-purpose room.
It's in the multi-purpose room,
Okay.
and it's small, and it looks like something from a house in the 50s with old Formica tops. But we look forward to bringing that up and not having to mess with it and be able to serve our kids. The Los Padres old multi-purpose room has been sitting in partial or light use since we built our new Donavan multi-purpose facility. We looked with architects at how we could best redo this facility to make it useful for the school for a long period of time. We had one architect that came up with an $800,000 plan, and we went to someone else and he pared it down to $650,000, and we couldn't afford either one of those. What we need to do, though, is we need to take that multipurpose room and make it functional for a library and for a computer lab. So we can take the 2 classrooms that are now the library and computer lab and rehab those as classrooms for next year based on the growth of that school. And so we looked at the best way to do it. There was no best way. So in-house, we're going to go, instead of $800,000 or $650,000, we're going to spend about $50,000 total. My crew, my maintenance crew this summer is going to go in and install some walls. We're going to get the HVAC balanced. We're going to make sure the power is safe. We're going to make a functional, Lydia, I'm gonna need your help on this one, you know.
Tech
I
views
click it and it
tomorrow.
goes the other way, huh?
Tech View is tomorrow.
I'm past that, let me tell you. So this is the old multi-purpose room. We're gonna, as a big entity, Best is over here and we have some storage here. We're gonna take this part of it and make a larger library by adding walls here, and some pass-through doors. These are existing outside doors, existing outside door here. This area is a big power unit, so we're gonna have to keep that, we can't move it. But we're gonna make a library that's much better than what we have now. We're gonna be able to use this as a computer lab until we don't have computer labs, which we hope is in the near future. And then it'll be a classroom or a pull-out intervention room. Could be used for parent meetings, and we'll have a third room that comes out of it too. So we're really on the cheap in-house. It'll be quality, it'll be safe, it'll be functional. And the parent community there is very interested in collecting money and helping with the library part of that. Ms. Rodriguez?
I just had a question. Doesn't this too free up a couple of classrooms at the site? Did I see that?
And that's a huge gain
Yeah.
for us. We need those classrooms at Los Padres. They'll go back and be renovated as regular classrooms for their growth. And if we hadn't done that just to bring portables in, over 100 grand per portable.
Will you be sharing this with the parent group that wrote us our letter and asked for the inquiry about this? Will you be sharing this with them?
Yes, and I already sent a letter for Gabriel to pass out to them to that effect. Click, here we go. District office. The district office, we've had some serious security considerations given the climate that we have in America today. And so we took a look at how we could redo the front end of the building to control access. Started out to be about a $175,000 project also. We got it pared down to about 45 plus design. And if you will, existing door, and right now you can just run down the hall and end up in the boardroom. We're going to put an electronically controlled access here so no one will be able to go past this point without being clicked in. We're going to redo the counter area here with Lexan and higher walls so no one can leap over it. And we'll maintain this area as an area for people to come in, be seated, and fill out applications. And while we're at it, we're going to redo the desks in the HR section here for both certificated and classified. We're discussing if we need to put a second electronic control here as we enhance this door with a bollard in the middle. We may or may not end up with that. But we'll have much better security at the district in conjunction with cameras on the outside. And while we're at it, it's really cheap to add a little storage area here, which is an open area with a couple of plants now. And that will help HR move some of their files into that area because we're growing in HR a little bit. I think everyone realizes how understaffed we are there and how cluttered it is.
So with the money we're saving, can we get some security over here on this open door street?
We can enhance the security on that door as part of it too.
I mean, because that's the daytime issue, the nighttime issue, which we spend here a lot of time at night. For those, we have a lot of parent meetings here and other meetings that take place at night, and that door is just left open. So anybody can just come in through that door. So it would be nice. Like maybe we need the built-in security camera right here so we can kind of be looking at who might be walking in those doors. Just something somewhere that will give us some visibility of what's happening out there.
We've added 2 cameras to the front. We'll add another one here so you'll be able to see it from a laptop or from a desktop.
While we're in here, because there's nobody else on the other side of the building.
I can make that happen. Not a problem and not expensive. Those are our summer 16 capital projects. As you can see, we're going to be busy. 5 of the sites are going to be seriously down and wouldn't be suitable for summer school. But at the end of the summer, you'll be looking at some really shiny new windows at Lincoln, the backside of Roosevelt, new asphalt in place of dead alligators, and I would ask for your approval as we move forward with it. We're being as fiscally responsible as possible, looking at how we cut those projects down to size and the source of funds. For example, at Los Padres, if you'll note, the source of funding is going to be from developer fees, so we collect those fees from commercial and residential construction. So we're really doing everything we can outside our general fund. And the 2 big pots are ERP, Emergency Repair Program, and Prop 39. And Prop 39, without going into lots of detail, is very frustrating, but we're going to win that battle.
Okay. All right, so, do we have a discussion?
No, I just want to make sure that Foster over here makes the motion.
Oh,
He
yes.
has history there, and I would make that second motion once he does it. But go ahead and do it.
I have three histories. The windows at Lincoln were there when I got there in 1964, and they were at Roosevelt when I got there in 1965, and at Los Padres, they were there when I got there in 1982. So anyway, I'd like to move that we approve the summer projects for 16-17 capital facilities improvement projects.
I will second that motion.
Okay,
Thank you.
there's a motion and a second. Let's call for a vote. All in favor?
All right.
Is there any discussion? I asked for discussion before we got the motion, actually.
We need it.
Yeah, I think. Right. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Say none.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
E-rate contracts.
The next action item is a package of contracts that we have to implement the E-rate project that I previously briefed and that you just approved. This is legalese formality with folks that do the design for us, between Spur and Infinity Communications. We've worked with them over the years. They do good work, and we just need to be able to sign those contracts to proceed with the design and then the construction over the summer.
Okay, will this fix the website? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes?
Do we have a motion to approve the E-rate contracts?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Say
Thank
none.
Okay, passes. Thank you. What's that? Solids. Okay. All right, so next meeting is March 14th, 6:30. Anyone want to suggest agenda?
Well, these kids that are going to do their presentation, is there any way that we could see one of them here, or we could
certainly
invite them
recognize
here?
them.
Yeah.
Recognition next month, what I have so far for recognition, I'm always open to any suggestions, but we are having spelling bees going
Yes.
on. So we have winners from, I think, most of our schools that are going to participate this Saturday in the big spelling bee, and we can certainly recognize those students who participated in the student voices.
Yeah.
So we could do student recognitions
That would be
next
great.
meeting.
In sixth grade.
Anything else? Okay, I think we stand adjourned.
Thank
you.
I think there's some suggestions about future agenda. You were going to ask about the retreat?
Oh, thank you, yes. This is regarding a board retreat. When we were down at CSBA, and I happened to attend a meeting, and it talked about how it was important for boards to set goals, and that based on those goals, then you do a self-evaluation. So I had asked Martha if there had already been a retreat before Francisco and I came on, and she said no.